Today on Judge Faith, the truck flipped over.
I closed my eyes at the impact. So when I opened my eyes, I was like laying on the cement and the truck was on top of me.
He saw it coming, but says she didn't listen.
When I noticed I couldn't stop, blowing up my horn, laying. It's a 1997.
I didn't hear
It's a
any
1997
horn.
Suburban.
So you're saying because I was blowing my horn
That
and
is-
she didn't hear it,
Yes.
this accident is her fault?
And later, it's all about love and money.
If he goes to this Keith Urban concert with this other woman, what is that saying about his respect for me?
She is just a friend. I've known her for 20 plus years. Yes, she is drop dead gorgeous.
So there are trust issues. You don't really know
Absolutely.
what to believe about the other person.
That's right.
It's kind of what you would expect after you meet off of Plenty of Fish and move in together after knowing each other for only a month.
Absolutely.
So none of this is surprising.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiffs Verna Miller and Taylor Campbell are suing a driver for $4,283 in damages and medical bills after he crashed into their truck. Defendant JUWANE GARRELL says he lost control of his truck when the brakes went out and is countersuing for $13,900 in medical bills.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this case is Miller versus Garrell.
Thank you, Barbara. Verna Miller
Yes, Your Honor.
and Taylor Campbell,
Yes, Your Honor.
you are suing the defendant JUWANE GARRELL
Yes, Your Honor.
for $4,283 for the cost of a damaged vehicle and medical care.
That's correct.
And you are countersuing, sir, for $13,900 for medical bills and hospital expenses related to this car accident. And you understand the statutory maximum in my courtroom is $5,000?
Yes, Your Honor.
After reading your papers, I understand that you, Ms. Campbell, were driving your grandmother's car
Correct.
and had a traffic accident on the date of this incident?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so why don't we start from the beginning and you tell me what happened?
On July 16th, 2014, I had got off work around 10 o'clock. I was coming north down Burt Road, and I came to a full stop at a stoplight. The stoplight then turned green, and I edged on into the intersection when the defendant, then coming west down Finkel Avenue, ran through a red light and hit me in the middle of the
Your Honor.
intersection.
Yes.
At that moment, my brakes had already failed. There's no throwing it in neutral. I tried to stop. There was also two other cars.
So you admit you ran a red light?
Yes.
But you're saying it was due to mechanical failure
Yes.
because of your car?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, do you have a photo of the intersection? Let me take a look at it. Okay, Ms. Campbell, why don't you step over to the flat screen and just show me the direction that both of you were traveling?
Okay. So I was coming north on Burt Road. This would be the stoplight right here. I then proceeded on after the green light, and the defendant was coming west down Finkel Avenue, and he hit me right around here in this intersection.
Okay, all right, thank you. So what happens after the defendant hit your car, which he
After-
now admits to doing?
After the defendant hit my car, he then proceeded to drive away. He hit me so hard then that I actually skirted over and like kind of bumped into another car also. But I did so much swerving and so much like moving around in the truck that the truck actually fell over.
What kind of car were you driving?
I was driving a 1999 Mercury Mountaineer.
Okay, and it was your car, ma'am?
That's correct. That's a 2000 Mercury Mountain.
Okay, so this is a pretty serious accident. Your car actually flipped over on the side.
I closed my eyes at the impact. So when I opened my eyes, I was like laying on the cement and the truck was on top of me.
Did anyone come over to try to help you?
After I got out, a lot of people came towards me like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Are you okay? But the defendant was not there.
Okay, well, how did you come to learn that he was the one person that hit your car?
I want to say maybe 5 to 10 minutes afterwards, he then limped back towards the scene. And that's when he came towards me like, I'm so sorry that I hit you. My brakes failed.
Was there a police report?
There is a police report.
Okay, and were you injured?
I had minor cuts in my hand and my feet.
Put the photos up, please.
That's a picture of the passenger side. That's the side that was struck.
How fast were you traveling?
35, 37 miles.
You say that you were driving your car and your brakes went out and you hit her car. So why
Yes.
haven't you paid for the damages to her
Yes.
car?
They contacted me one time and it was about 8 a.m. in the morning. I blew my horn.
So if someone contacts you after
Yes.
9 a.m., they'll get a response?
I didn't have phone numbers. I didn't have nothing. I got sent to the hospital. I have $13,000 medical bill.
That you think she should pay for?
Yes.
Why is that?
When I noticed I couldn't stop, blowing on my horn, Lana, it's a 1997.
I didn't hear
It's a
any
1997
horn.
Suburban. The car that was sitting on the south side heard it. She stopped. The car that was in front of me that I went to the right lane, she heard it. She had to been doing something in her car in order not to hear my horn. Unless she what, wearing hearing aids?
That's not true.
Unless what, music loud? Maybe playing Monopoly or something in
There
the
was
car.
no other.
If she came on out and she see this truck coming, lights, headlights, look up 1997 Suburban, you can't miss it.
So you're saying, yes, my brakes went out, but
Yes.
because I was blowing my horn
That
and
is-
she didn't hear it
Yes.
and get out of the way,
Yes.
this accident is her fault.
Yes. Due
And
to
she's
it, yes, it is.
responsible for your medical bills.
Yes.
Coming up on Judge Faith, the hit and run truck that ran away.
I ran up the curve. I ran through the field to stop my vehicle. I don't have my vehicle. My vehicle is not in an impound. It's not at the police lot. It's
What happened to
nowhere
your car?
It's nowhere to be found.
And later, issues abound when you find love online.
He would make these insinuations like, oh, you know, who are you going to go see? Are you going to go see another man?
Yes, I had a problem when she emails him and says, I miss wrapping my thighs around you.
Plaintiffs Verna Miller and Taylor Campbell are suing a driver for damages and medical bills after he totaled their truck. Defendant JUWANE GARRELL says the plaintiff didn't get out of the way when he honked his horn.
Do you have insurance?
Yes.
Did you
Yes,
have insurance on
I
your
did.
car?
I was with
Show me
Progressive.
proof of insurance.
I didn't have it. These is medical bills right here.
Okay, you didn't bring proof of insurance to
No.
court today, but you had insurance on your car.
I
He
did.
didn't have any
Your
proof
Honor,
of insurance
when
at
the
the
car
accident
accident,
either.
I came to the scene. I gave her my business card. I couldn't talk to her. It was about other, like, how many? 5 to 10 people was there around her threatening me.
Why were people threatening you, sir?
They were saying it was a hit and
Because
run.
he did drive away after he hit me. And then
A
he limped back. He
Suburban,
got rid of his car.
It couldn't stop. I
He got
ran
rid of
up
his car,
the
then he
curve.
walked back towards
I
me.
ran up the curve. I ran through the field to stop my vehicle. I don't have my vehicle. My vehicle is not in an impound. It's not at the police lot. It's
What happened
nowhere
to your
be-
car?
It's nowhere to be found. When I left the scene, when they took me to the ambulance, I went straight to the hospital. There's nowhere to be found for my truck. Nowhere.
So you went to the hospital,
Yes.
and you say from that day to this day, you have no idea where your car
Nowhere.
is.
They said it's not even an accident for July the 16th, July the 17th, July the 18th.
What's the name of your insurance company?
Progressive.
He told me at State Farm, but he could not give me any information. So then after that, the police asked him, like, well, what's your information? And he told them State Farm also. And they told me that they didn't believe him because he didn't give them any information. He couldn't provide anything.
Your Honor, I believe that that's in the police report that he had State Farm insurance.
Yeah.
Did you tell that to the police?
I didn't tell the police nothing. The only thing the police took was my license and my first and last name.
Why are you countersuing for your medical bills? Why do you think she owes you over $13,000
She
in
failed
medical
to ignore the
bills?
sounds of my horn and all the other sounds that was given. That's what it was.
You may be injured because of this accident, but I'm going to tell you why you suffered these injuries. Because your brakes went out, you were driving your car, you went through a red light, and you hit somebody. You're also suing for $548 in medical care. Do you have proof that you paid that out of pocket and what wasn't covered by health insurance?
That was not covered by health insurance, and I have made payments on that bill.
Okay.
I have a copy of the bill.
May I see it, please?
Taylor was examined because she had some pain after the accident.
You're not insured?
No,
Not at the time.
at the time, no.
How much have you paid towards the bill?
$50. In your honor, I'd like to commend the defendant for at least coming back to see about Taylor, because in our area there's so many hit and run accidents until it's really appalling. However,
Well, he did what
he's-
he was
Thank you.
supposed to do.
I know.
But
drive away.
I want
know.
him to not drive around with your brakes failing because you could have killed someone.
Did I know that they was gonna go out that night? No.
No, you didn't know, but she didn't know either.
Yes, and she also didn't hear my horn. She didn't see my light beams.
Listen, I don't care if she was blasting Jay-Z on the radio.
Which
What I'm
means you
telling
can't
you,
hear my
it doesn't
horn.
matter.
That
It
means
does
you
not
can't hear the
matter.
horn.
The fact that she didn't hear your horn does not negate the fact that your brakes went out and the accident is your fault. On that note, judgment in this case is for the plaintiff. I'm ordering you to pay her the Blue Book value of her car, $3,662, in addition to $548 for her out-of-pocket medical expenses, for a total of $4,210. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Plaintiff Cindy Yarrow says she helped her former boyfriend out of a financial bind and he still owes. She is suing for $1,400. Defendant Dwayne Kleinberg says they always helped each other out and the money was a gift.
Cindy Yarrow,
Yes.
you were suing the defendant Dwayne Kleinberg
Yes.
for $1,400. You say he owes you for an unpaid loan?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, tell me about your case, ma'am.
Well, Your Honor, Dwayne and I met on Plenty of Fish about 4 years ago.
What is Plenty of Fish? Dating website?
Yes, it is. It's a
Okay.
dating website. We started dating, and fairly quickly, I fell in love with the defendant, and he moved in with my daughter and I into an apartment that my daughter and I shared.
When was that?
Probably May or June of 2011,
And when did the two of you meet on Plenty of Fish?
about a month before that.
Is that how Plenty of Fish works? You meet people and you just dive right in?
It's pretty much a hookup.
Okay.
So anyway, he was living with his mother at the time, and we were dating. Everything was going pretty well.
Why were you
and
living with your mother?
Paying child support on two daughters one in college, the other one getting ready to go to college.
So you meet someone off the internet and 1 month later you move them in with your daughter and you?
Yes.
You think that was smart?
No, Your Honor, I do not think that was smart.
Okay.
And so anyway, we moved in together, and not long after we moved in together, we started having some differences, and one of those was the defendant had told me that him and one of his friends that he'd known for years were going to go to a Keith Urban concert, that he'd purchased the tickets, and that him and his daughters were going to go with the gal that he had mentioned. I told him, you know what, that's okay, that's fine, but I was really hoping that he would change his mind, because he's living with me, and I really thought, you know what, if he goes to this Keith Urban concert with this other woman, what is that saying about his respect for me?
Well, who was the other woman?
She is just a friend. I've known her for 20 plus years. Yes, she is drop dead gorgeous, but she is like a baby
okay.
sister. I bought the tickets in February for my daughters and my friend and her daughter, because she was my concert buddy, if you will.
And here's the thing, is that he's taken another woman to the concert, he's living with me, and so that became a huge issue.
I see why. Go ahead.
So I sell real estate. And so anytime that anybody would call me, and Mel would call me or whatever, he would make these accusations or insinuations like, oh, who are you gonna go see? Are you gonna go see another man? Or I had another friend of mine that we never dated, he was just a friend, And he's making accusations about how I'm seeing him, and
So there are trust issues. You don't really know
Absolutely.
what to believe about the other person.
That's right.
It's kind of what you would expect after you meet off of Plenty of Fish and move in together after knowing each other for only a month.
Absolutely.
So none of this is surprising.
Yes, Your Honor, that's absolutely correct.
Coming up, when courting goes awry, come to court for relationship tips.
Every month I asked, are you sure you don't have a problem with it? She told me, I'm not a jealous person, would you knock it off? My friend calls me and says, does Cindy have a problem with it?
You don't
And I-
know anything about women, sir. You
No,
just don't
you know
know
what?
anything
No,
about
I've,
women.
I've got a big
Thank
S
you.
on my
I
forehead.
mean,
Plaintiff Cindy Yarrow is suing her former boyfriend for an unpaid loan. Defendant Dwayne Kleinberg says they always helped each other out and the money was a gift.
what do you have to say?
Oh, well, a whole lot now. As far as my friend is concerned, Those tickets were bought before I met Cindy. Concert didn't happen until September. Every month I asked, are you sure you don't have a problem with it? She told me, I'm not a jealous person, would you knock it off? The day before the concert, my friend calls me and says, does Cindy have a problem with it?
You don't know anything about women, sir. You
No,
just don't
you know what?
anything about women.
I've got a big
Thank
S
you.
on my
I
forehead.
mean,
Thank you, Your Honor.
And she said no. When I was leaving the door, that's when she had the problem. As far as her friend that she met, yes, I had a problem when she emails him and says, I'm wrapping my thighs around you.
plenty of fish.
Your Honor.
Yes.
It was in reference to a motorcycle ride. The guy rode motorcycles. So
That's a good comeback. All right, so what's going on now with the loan that you're suing him for?
in July, his oldest daughter got married, and I've helped with the expenses, for the wedding.
What do you mean when you say you helped him with his older daughter's wedding?
I gave him a check, and I have proof of that, Your Honor.
May I see it, please?
Yes.
And you say this wasn't a loan, this was a gift?
This was a gift, and I told him that. You know what? He couldn't really afford to pay for his daughter's
So
wedding.
she gave you $2,500, you say
Right.
that's a gift, but you're suing over $1,400 that you say was a loan.
That's right, because right after his daughter's wedding, July 26th, Dwayne came home from work and he's like, oh my gosh, my account is overdrawn. I'm like, really, Dwayne? How can you overdraft your account by almost $3,000? And I said, you know what, okay, I'm willing to help you, but the only way I can get cash would be on my credit card. So I took him with me to the bank, withdrew $1,700 cash from my credit card, and handed it to him and gave it to him.
And I assume this isn't in
Okay.
writing. You don't have anything in writing.
There's the text messages between the defendant and myself saying that he owes money. He threatened to throw me out of the home.
When
Just-
she is contacting her ex-lover, telling him what a loser I am, how miserable she is, she
How do you know
loves
she
him
did that?
because she was mad at me, going through my phone all the time, and she's yelling at me, and she set her phone down, and I looked at it, and I said, okay, what the hell? I looked at her phone, and I saw the emails telling him how a lazy, fat piece of that doesn't do anything. I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to get ready for work. I get home at 5:30 to 6, anywhere from 5:30 to 6:30 at night. I come home, you don't appreciate what I do for you.
No, you
And it's
didn't.
like, what do you want me to do? I say, thank you. I try to do special things for you.
But you take another girl to a concert.
That
See, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Sir,
Yes, ma'am, I'm
let me
sorry.
tell you something.
I'm sorry.
It's always going to go back to that Keith Urban concert.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
You ask him, when can you pay me back? And she was referring to the $1,700 that you admit you asked her for in these text
Right.
messages. You say not for a while. You will get your money, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
From several of these text messages, you appear to tell her you have every plan on paying her back the $1,700.
Yes, I do. It's going to take a while. I don't have the money, and then she starts
But you told me
demanding-
earlier, sir, that the money was not a loan, that it was
It
a
wasn't.
gift.
It wasn't. She wants it back. So I plan on giving it back to her.
I actually have a copy of the statement that I withdrew the money out on. And of the $1,700, he has given me $300, which I am acknowledging in court.
The plaintiff says you paid her back $300, so she's only suing you for $1,400. Based on the text messages, since you repeatedly said you would pay her back, you had every intention on paying her back, I'm going to order you to pay her back the rest of the money. Judgment for the plaintiff, $1,400. Good luck to both of you.
If you or someone you know has a dispute, don't take the law into your own hands. Let Judge Faith rule on it for you. To submit your case, go to judgefaith.com and tell us your story. See you in court.